What good would it do? If she's not even going to hug you anymore, you need to move on with your life, Ranjian. Would you wake up?
All done. Done. Does it even matter? Nothing like those developers. And I don't want to be. It's not right.
I didn't take advantage of anyone. On the job, I turned it down. Hold on.
Do you realize how much trouble I went through to make this opportunity possible for you?
Kwa hiyo Kate na babako ni wazimu, walitafutana wakapatana.
Alikwambia yualala na nani? Ataweza kwa hiyo tuchungulie hapa.
Hii ni changamoto mojawapo ambayo mtu hupitia katika ulezi.
Na mimi sitaki kuona hapa. Sitaki uje hapa tena.
Unaficha nini? Na kuona umeficha nini?
Turns away, the sun sends the day, creeping into the gloom.
I promise to love you, I do. Even though you broke my heart, and I lay here in the dark, tears rolling down my face. If this is love, my dear, welcome to my world, and let us share, baby. I got you, baby. I got you, baby.
My friend, for my friend, the ones that true and not sell out. That one for my friend, for my friend, when I step out for the money alone. This one.
Tusirudi nyuma kwa mipaka na nchi kufungwa. Tusirudi kwa biashara na shule kufungwa. Kwa kutoweza kukutana. Kwa kutengana na tuwapendao. Tusirudi nyuma.
Na kuhitaji unikinge, pata chanjo.
Ili tuendelee na maisha vizuri.
Na kuhitaji unikinge. Pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge.
Pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge.
Pata chanjo.
Na kuhitaji unikinge. Pata chanjo.
Ili tuendeleze maisha bora kwa ajili ya wapendao, nchi yetu na usoni wetu. Kwa ajili yetu sisi sote. Pata chanjo. Kaa chonjo. Kuhakikisha nchi yetu na uchumi wetu umestawi katika uwazi. Tusirudi nyuma.
Furnitures Limited. We're local manufacturers of quality office furniture, dealers in quality office equipment like fireproof safes and cabinets. Our automated state-of-the-art factories at Henna House along Enterprise Road in Nairobi's industrial area. Our showroom is at Uniafric House, Koinange off Koinange Street. We are passionate believers in locally manufactured goods. When you and I buy locally made furniture, we impact on the livelihoods of our brothers and sisters. For orders, visit our showroom at Uniafric House, Koinange off Koinange Street. Beacon Furnitures Limited. Jenga Kenya, tupate ajira.
We take it on at the right time. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi.
The Honorable Mutahi Kagwe.
Chief Justice Martha Karambuko.
This is KBC, is the voice of Kenya.
Asking the right questions.
I don't know how it made you feel as speaker who is presiding over a house where members can be compromised with 10,000 shillings.
We keep our guests comfortable. A mission to ensure our audience gets a complete story.
For a few hours or so, I thought this is it. My end has come.
If really we want an end of this pandemic, we must fight.
Our goal, to tell it as it is for the benefit of our viewer.
And I'm sure we will have good discussions.
All right.
That will make probably your viewers understand KDF better.
with 21 radio outlets.
During a live interview on KBC TV, Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibosha.
Jaji mkuu kwa mara ya kwanza katika mahojiano yake ya kipekee na runinga ya KBC Channel 1.
And 2 TV stations covering over 90% of the entire country. The message always gets home. KBC, the home of on-air TV interviews.
Good afternoon. Thank you for creating time for us. This is KBC. A very warm welcome to the Lunchtime News. My name is Irene Muchuma Odim. On sign language interpretation this afternoon, we have Anne Wangeshi. Do interact with us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter on this important day that politics continue to take center stage in most places in the country. Now, top story this afternoon. Kitutu Chache South Member of Parliament Richard Onyonka has been arrested over allegations of hate speech and incitement to violence. Onyonka was picked up by officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations in Kisii Town and is currently being grilled at the Kisii County Police Headquarters before he is formally charged in court. Onyonka's arrest follows an order by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nuruddin Haji, to the Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mtiambai, to probe alleged utterances by the legislator at a public rally on Sunday. Meanwhile, Meru Senator Mithika Linturi has been released on a 2 million shillings cash bail with a surety of similar amount. Nakuru Chief Magistrate Edna Nyaloti ordered Linturi not to contact witnesses in order to allow detectives to complete investigations. The senator was further directed to report to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI once a week. The court, however, declined to grant an application by the prosecution seeking to detain Linturi for 7 days. We're now being joined from Nakuru County by my colleague Dennis Rasto on phone to paint for us the picture in the county of Nakuru this as Meru Senator has appeared in court. Dennis, good afternoon. Kindly bring us up to speed with the latest development this afternoon. So will be joining us later in this bulletin. And on politics now, a section of leaders from Uasin Gishu County have condemned politicians who are trying to use the recent alleged incitement utterances by Meru Senator Mithika Linturi to cause fear and division among Kenyans. Led by Uasin Gishu Deputy Governor Daniel Chemno, the leaders said they will not allow politicians to bring disharmony among the communities living in Uasin Gishu. They have called for political tolerance ahead of this year's campaigns. Giving you details on that story later on in this bulletin. Let's now touch on health matters. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has called off the strike which was to take place effect Monday midnight in the county of Mombasa following pending November and December salary arrears, NHIF deductions and promotions as well. KMPDU Coast Branch Secretary General Dr. Nasir Shaban revealed that talks within the county health department and Mombasa governor ended the stalemate.
The looming strike by the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacist and Dentist Union KMPDU has been suspended following successful negotiations with the Mombasa County government. The strike was to take effect from Tuesday, January 11th.
Kitu cha kwanza tuna furaha sana kuambia wananchi wetu wa Mombasa kwamba kuanzia kesho huduma za afya hazitositishwa kama ilivyokuwa imepangwa.
KMPDU Coast Branch Secretary Dr. Nasir Shaban said the union had accused the county government of perennial salary delays, failure to promote a section of health consultants who have stagnated in one job group for over 5 years.
County mpaka kufikia sasa imetulipa mishahara yetu ya miezi miwili kamili. Mshahara wa November umelipwa in full na mshahara wa December in full, na pesa zimeshaanza kuingia kwenye account zetu. Yale malipo ya NHIF yamelipwa yote kwa ukamilifu.
The union further wanted contracted doctors to be absorbed under permanent and pensionable terms, as per national government circular that orders for the employment to be on permanent terms.
Jubilee women leaders from Nairobi County have endorsed Agnes Kagure as their candidate of choice for the governor's seat in the August election. The group has taken issue with the nominated Member of Parliament, Maina Kamanda, of frustrating Kagure's bid by allegedly threatening her supporters. Candidate, and they have now urged Raila Odinga not to be held hostage by powered brokers led by self-interests.
Sisi ndio mashinani, si ndio mama? Sasa mtu akisema ati niko na watu, mbona wako kuchagua mbunge? Ulishindwa na ubunge, governor utaweza? Na governor wa mama tunakagua. Tumesema as women of this nation, we want one like ourselves. We want the city to smell well, the city to shine. Hatutaki mwanaume ule anafanya vitu kwa kangaroo courts. We want a woman who will give us a way forward, someone who is dignified, someone that we can say we are proud of you as a mama.
Kwa kasarani wa mama, ni kweli? Hey! Na sisi ndio tuliamua tukasema ni honorable Kagure. Hey! Kwa sababu wale watu wote wanasimama, sisi tumewaweka kwa ratili, tumeona ule mtu wako sawa, ni honorable Agnes Kagure. Tuko pamoja.
We know what is good for us and we shall settle for nothing less. No one will dictate to us how to vote come August 2022.
We now get back to the county of Nakuru, where my colleague Dennis Rasto has been pitching camp in the courts. This is after Meru Senator appeared in court and was charged. And Rasto, how are you this afternoon? Bring us up to speed with the latest after.
Hello, Irene.
Yes, Rasto, I can hear you. Bring us up to speed with the latest developments.
Well, it was a tense moment for the delegate, Meru Senator Nitika Linturi, for the Nakuru Magistrate Court, which granted him a Kenya shilling 2 million cash bail or 5 million conditional bond over alleged incitement remarks at a rally in Everett this past weekend. Now, Linturi is expected to report to the Directorate of Criminal Investigation headquarters in Nairobi, that in the capital Nairobi, weekly. Now, the same court has also ordered the Meru Senator not to contact or intimidate witnesses in the case, either by proxy or as an individual.
And what has been the reaction on the ground? What has been the picture from the courts this as you were there during the morning hours?
Well, like I said, the situation was tense. We've seen politicians allied to the United Democratic Alliance movement coming to the court to basically show in display of solidarity with the legal senator. And they've been, so far the deputy president has distanced himself from the sentiments that the senator made, but the legislators who we talked to have also condemned the same sentiment, saying that their movement is part of a peace-building process in the country as we head to the elections. But they've advised the legal senator and many other politicians who are to the movement to to be cautious about the remarks we make in public.
Thank you, Rasto.
Yes, we've also seen members of the public coming in solidarity to show solidarity with the Senate.
Thank you, Rasto. We will be getting more details from you later on in our subsequent bulletins. This is after the Deputy President, while in Bomet, asked leaders to be mindful of their language and ensure that we create a united nation. Now, to other matters, learning at Kenya Medical Training College in Kenchacha, Kuria West, Migori County, was paralyzed for better part of the day after students protested what they termed as poor learning environment. The students also want 2 tutors who were allegedly interdicted reinstated.
The students, led by their leader Wycliffe Omolo, marched along the Kenhacha Migori Road, demanding the return of the 2 tutors, David Komen and Julius Onsanse.
Wamekuwa wamewaekelea walimu wawili makosa ati wamekuwa na sexual harassment, so tunataka walimu wote waende kuanzia huyo principal, tuletewe walimu wengine basi tuanze afresh.
Winnie Bok, the Secretary General of the Students' Union, said that the 2 tutors were sent packing on allegations that they had love affairs with the students.
No one has reported any case of sexual harassment of any girl, so we demand to know where our HODs have gone, and also we want peace to our school.
They further claimed that the hygiene standards at the college were wanting.
We have so many issues with this compound. For instance, we don't have the casuals in school. And now we are paying school fees. We are always cleaning our classes as students, and yet we call ourselves health workers. So we request the headquarters to at least look into this matter.
The students took issue with the college principal Livingstone Munyoga for managing the institution in absentia. Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
A Kenya Defense Forces officer who died in a road accident along the Luanda-Kakamega Road in Vihiga County has been laid to rest. Senior officer Brian Moindi was buried at his rural home in Kapsengere in Vihiga County. In a message of condolences read by Major Onyango of Moi Air Base, Moindi was eulogized as a very hard-working soldier who was dedicated at his work. The late Moindi served at Control Radar in the Surveillance Department.
Dedicated, diligent, and hard-working member of the Defense Forces. His untimely death will no doubt be felt by members of your family as well as those of the entire air surveillance wing.
And now to the Cabinet, a weekly segment that commenced Monday night that will be offering snapshot profiles of the men and women who have served as government ministers right from Mzee Jomo Kenyatta's regime to the current one of President Uhuru Kenyatta. The premiere episode focuses on Kenya's first Vice President, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga.
Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was born in 1911 in the then Central Nyanza, now Bondo, in Siaya County. After completing his formal education in 1939 with a diploma in education from Makerere University College, he taught mathematics at Maseno School from 1940 to 1942 and later served as principal of the Maseno Veterinary School between 1943 to 1946. In 1947, he dropped teaching for business and politics, got elected to the membership of Central Nyanza District Council. In October 1952, when Kenyatta was detained by the British government and 6 months later sentenced to jail, Jaramogi became one of the most outspoken advocates for his release. In 1956, the colonial government allowed Africans to directly elect their representatives to the Legislative Council, and Odinga was elected to represent Central Nyanza. After the first Lancaster House Conference in London in 1960, Jaramogi and other members of the Legislative Council formed the Kenya African National Union, KANU. In 1962, the second Lancaster House Conference was convened with KANU and KADU agreeing to form a coalition and go to the general election. Kenya became a republic within the Commonwealth in 1964, with Kenyatta as president. Jaramogi was the vice president and minister for Home Affairs between 1964 and 1966. In mid-1964, Jaramogi was branded a communist by his detractors, with rumors he was planning to seize control of the government. In 1966, KANU's vice president's post was abolished and replaced with 7 vice presidents representing 6 regions and Nairobi. Jaramogi was kicked out of his influential position. Jaramogi reacted by resigning as the country's vice president and the minister for Home Affairs, forming an opposition party, the Kenya People's Union, the same year in 1966.
Now we move over to the courts here in the county of Nairobi. My colleague Ben Troy Njue is at the courts, and he is telling us there is an important event where the CJ is swearing in new judges. Troy, what do you have for us?
Good afternoon, Irene Muchuma back in studio, and thank you so much for joining us live from the Supreme Court. Allow me to remove my mask so that we may be able to communicate effectively. Indeed, today is an auspicious occasion. If you ask 64 magistrates and 19 adjudicators who have just been sworn in by Chief Justice Martha Koome right here at the Supreme Court, and now they are ready for duty. Their names have added another feather. Now they will be known as honorable, and then the name will follow. But a quick one, I'm joined by 2 honorable magistrates who have just been sworn in moments ago, and I'll begin with my immediate right. We have Honorable Ndungu Gatembu, who is a honorable magistrate as from now. Karibu sana to KBC Channel 1. Now, kindly, in a nutshell, how has the journey been? Even before we say how you feel now, I know the journey might have been tumultuous, but how has the journey been?
Well, the journey has been a great one, although with its own challenges, given that this is an academic journey. And like the old saying used to be that the roots of education are bitter, however its fruits are sweet. And today, with this very solemn occasion of the swearing in of the newly recruited magistrate, has been a manifestation of that indeed the fruits of education are sweet.
Yes. What can you look forward to now that all the studies are done and you'll be having your own courtroom? And I remember CJ has talked about you will be the Chief Justice in that courtroom.
Well, I must also point out that education has got no end. It is always a continuous journey in the world of academia and scholarly works. However, as from this moment, it is looking forward to serve Kenyans in the dispensation of justice.
Have you been posted?
Yes, indeed, I have already been posted to the Olitoktok law courts in Kajiado County. Yeah.
All the best, Muchuma.
Thank you.
And now on my left, allow me to engage another honorable magistrate who's just been sworn in. His name is Ismail Imolet. I hope I've gotten that right. Honorable. Yes, and indeed, the journey has been quite tumultuous, if you ask me, because for you, actually, you are honored today as you started out as a court assistant, and you went to law school, you did that, you became an advocate, and now you've just been sworn in. How has that journey been?
Okay, what I would just like to tell you and other Kenyans is that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. It was actually challenging, working at the same time, going to school, part-time, university, and later on to Kenya School of Law. But thank God I got admitted, and now I'm an honorable magistrate, and currently I'm wearing 2 hats. Having been admitted as being sworn in as a magistrate, I'm also an appointed adjudicator with the small claims court, which is we are one of the pioneers of that court.
Indeed, and being pioneers of that court, I remember the Chief Justice during the State of the Judiciary and Administration of Justice, she's talked about the judicial transmission agenda, of which now the small claims court is one of that. What are some of the other things that we could look out or look forward to?
Oh, there are so many great things with the small claims court because we are actually not going to follow the strict rules of procedure. It is a flexible court. It is going to solve so many small claims that have clogged the judicial system, especially the magistrates court. And you can see as we are proceeding, we are really dealing with so many matters and we are concluding them. So we are very grateful to serve Kenyans.
All the best, all the best, all the best. Indeed, Irene, as you can see me, I'm in the middle of 2 honorable magistrates. As of now, they have been sworn in and will start their duties from today. And Honorable Ismail has been posted in Nyeri. I had left that one out, but we wish them all the best. We'll bring you more in our subsequent bulletin. Back to you in studio.
Thanks, Justice Wanabe.
Well done, Troy. Indeed, we'll be getting more details on the events from the Supreme Court in our subsequent bulletins. Now, to the county of Kwale, the government will fast-track the erection of a police post in Mabukoni area, Kwale County, to enhance security for students at the Technical University of Mombasa, Kwale campus. 245.5 million shillings had been injected for the refurbishment of the Vocational Institute, with plans underway for the construction of a perimeter wall, dining area, as well as a street lighting program. The project is among several development projects currently undergoing inspection at the coast by the multi-agency task force led by Interior Principal Secretary Karanja Kibicho. Our reporter Junei Karisa is on the road from Kinango, Kwale County, and now she joins us live with the details. Junei, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Irene Muchuma. I'm joined by the chairperson of this delegation just to tell us exactly what they are doing today and tomorrow. Of course, we are on the road inspecting government projects, and today, of course, he will tell us how are the projects so far, and of course, what are some of the stalemates they have encountered so far, and what are their expectations. Karibu sana, Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam. We are a team of PSS who are visiting the coastal region. We were actually allocated to visit the Kwale County, and with me I have got 11 PSS. We have also been accompanied by the CCs from the county of Kwale, 3 of them. We also have got the officers from the PDU, and we have the county commissioner and his security team with us today. For today, we are visiting 4 projects in Kwale County. We started in the morning by doing a courtesy call to the county commissioner, Mr. Yagi. We then went to Mombasa University Technical Campus, where we were able to see the security situation. They require a wall, they require a dormitory, there is also the street lighting, and that we were able to harmonize on how those things are going to be done. Our next project where we are today now is the Kwale Kinango Road. The part that has been contracted is 29 kilometers. It is passing through the Simba Forest Reserve. The The project was awarded in March 17, 2021. Its cost value for construction was 3.07 billion. I think this project has not worked very well. The project so far has not started, 10 months down the ladder. The project is supposed to be completed in 2024. We are actually wondering why a 29-kilometer road should cost 3 years to complete. That's number one. Why the contractor has actually not begun the construction. What has he been doing for the last 3 months? The 10 months. And the committee has given the following direction. One, on Thursday when we are having the NDITC meeting, the regional manager for Kenya will come and do a presentation of the work plan on how they are going to compensate for the 10 months which have already elapsed. That's number one. He will also give us a schedule for the new work plan. He will also let us know when the equipment they are claiming they are at the port will actually get here. And fourthly, they will ensure that the site engineer has an office. So we expect the work to commence immediately, having been given those guidelines.
Do you expect such more frustrations, or you're expecting a positive note as you continue?
Well, the contractor has no choice because this project is being supervised by a number of Kenya officers. We are going to escalate and ensure that there is close supervision of this project.
Irene Muchuma, we are still on the road. Of course, we'll give you a comprehensive detail of this particular tour in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you.
Good to have you, Janae, and all the best. A section of leaders from Uasin Gishu County have condemned politicians who are trying to use the recent alleged incitement utterances by Meru Senator Mithika Linturi to cause fear and division among Kenyans. Led by Uasin Gishu Deputy Governor Daniel Chemno, the leaders say they will not allow politicians to bring disharmony among the communities living in Uasin Gishu. They have called for political tolerance ahead of this year's campaign. We now have details of this story.
Utterances by Meru Senator Mithika Linturi and Kitutu Chache South Member of Parliament Richard Onyonka have continued to elicit mixed reactions among leaders. Uasin Gishu political leaders, accompanied by Gusii Council of Elders, have urged their fellow politicians to desist from making utterances that instill fear, vying to ensure smooth campaigns and a peaceful election period in Uasin Gishu County.
Tunataka kusema tukiwa wakaaji wa Uasin Gishu kwamba sisi tunapenda amani na kila mmoja ambaye anaishi ni mkaaji wa Uasin Gishu, ni mkaaji wa Kenya na anakaribishwa hapa Uasin Gishu kufanya biashara, kufanya ndoa, kufanya kila chochote, hata kama ni kuomba kura.
I want to say this election will be peaceful before, during and after. That is the resolve of the residents of Uasin Gishu. We are going to conduct our elections peacefully, and we are allowing them, even though we know there are people who don't support the popular candidate that we support. They have a right, but we have said, let the majority vote their way.
Meanwhile, Nyandarua County Women Representative Faith Wairimu Gitau has come to the defense of besieged Meru Senator Mithika Linturi over his remarks, saying his message was taken out of context.
Linturi alisema kuna wale watu ambao wako hiyo bonde la ufa ambao hawasupport Ruto. That is what he meant. Na akasema hivi, hao watu wasichaguliwe. Hiyo ndio maneno alikuwa nayo. Ile jina tu alitaja ni hiyo ya madoadoa. But that is not what he meant. He meant something else.
This comes as a section of residents and former IDPs evicted from their homes during the post-election violence have added their voice to the issue, noting that hate mongers must face the full force of the law.
Kwa hivyo kiongozi yote ambaye atafungua mdomo, wacha aunganishe Kenya, wacha kuletwe amani, wacha kila mtu maneno kama madoadoa tuache kutaja, kwa sababu madoadoa italeta hisia mbaya ya 207.
Hatutakubali kuona wananchi wetu wakipiganishwa. Yeyote mwenye tapiganisha wa Kenya, tuko na yeye bumper to bumper.
Meanwhile, residents of South Mugirango have come out to protest against their legislator Silvanus Osoro's public utterances at UDA rally in Eldoret, attacking Cabinet Secretary for Interior Fred Matiang'i. Osoro claimed that the CS was a hindrance to the DP's efforts to popularize his presidential bid in the area. The residents condemned the utterances, saying the work of the CS Matiang'i speaks for itself and there was no need to play politics with his contribution to the service delivery for ordinary Kenyans.
Respect him very much, but we cannot allow Osoro to go ahead and start abusing our leader Matiang'i. Matiang'i is a political appointee who is working for all Abagusi community and Kenya at large.
Glad you're watching the Lunchtime News, and quick acknowledgements. Horace Nyokane, you're watching KBC Channel 1 from the county of Nairobi. Calvo Okwanyo, you're watching from Uriri Sub-County. Peter, you're watching from Moyale Sub-County. And Caroline Oiche, you're watching from the county of Kisii. Keep on texting. We'd like to hear from you and we'll be able to interact throughout this bulletin. We are taking a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
What good would it do? If she's not even going to hug you anymore, you need to move on with your life, Ding Renjian. Would you wake up?
All done. Done. Does it even matter? I'm nothing like those developers. And I don't want to be. It's not right.
I didn't take advantage of anyone. On the job, I turned it down.
Hold on. Do you realize how much trouble I went through to make this opportunity possible for you?
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
Don't with them, and please let go of the gun!
What do you want? You're not supposed to be inside this house.
I didn't want to leave without saying goodbye to my cousin, but I can't find her anywhere. Would you know where she is?
What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh my God. I hope my grandson Alonso is all right.
Hello. What's going on? You had caught her in some kind of situation that you didn't like? Yes. Lying heart.
Fue sembrando el veneno y la ambición entre dudas.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. The Political Parties Amendment Bill is now before the Senate's Legal Affairs Committee after it was read for the first time in a special sitting of the House. Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka assured the country that due process will be followed in considering the bill that elicited chaos during its consideration in the National Assembly.
The Senate held a special sitting Tuesday to consider, among other businesses, the controversial Political Parties Amendment Bill that was passed last week by the National Assembly. Unlike in the National Assembly, where the bill had caused tension as MPs faced off over the procedure and its proposals, political temperatures in the Senate were relatively low. Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen sought assurance that due process, including public participation, will be followed.
I want to assure you, Mr. Speaker, that because of the importance of this bill,
that Kenyans will be given an opportunity through public participation, not a guided, rushed public participation, but a robust, well-publicized public participation.
For the information of the Senator, I think the Senate Business Committee, in its consideration of this matter, emphasized the need to go through the entire constitutional, legal processes, including the directions in the standing orders.
Legal Affairs Committee Chairperson Senator Okongo Omogeni said his committee will accord the public adequate opportunity to send their memoranda. Some senators, however, cautioned against delaying the process, saying the Senate had limited time to consider the bill.
We'll give an opportunity to those who may want to appear before this committee.
We have a situation where we need to seek concurrence with the other house, 110.3, and we also have the time factor, Mr. Speaker.
Senate Speaker Kenneth Lusaka, while committing the bill to the Legal Affairs Committee, assured the Senate and the public that due process will be followed.
So I would like to assure this House that there is no intention to depart from the Constitution, the laws and the standing orders. The Senate and the country can be assured of that.
Among other proposals, the bill seeks to reintroduce coalition political parties where constituent parties retain identity but form a coalition party as opposed to the current situation. If approved as it is by the Senate, coalition parties must be registered with the Office of Registrar of Political Parties by April. Geshoke Washira, Lunchtime News.
The Democratic Party of Kenya has dismissed claims that it has joined the One Kenya Alliance. Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, says the party had not made an official statement on the same, but said the party is in talks and is willing to work with any other like-minded parties.
Uvumi unaachwa unakuwa uvumi. Mambo yote ambayo yanafanyika na mtu ambaye anaheshimu demokrasia lazima yapitie kutoka kwa chama na katika the relevant organs of the party. Today is the National Executive Committee of the Democratic Party which is meeting today. If there was anything like that, then obviously you'll know about it from this organ. The Democratic Party has always worked with other like-minded parties in the past, and this time around cannot be an exception. And therefore, we as a party are open to working with other like-minded, and this is important, like-minded parties.
As the country grapples with a huge burden of unemployment among the youth, many have been left with no option but to find alternative ways to survive, which include using their talent to eke a living. Safin Acheng Ouma brings you the story of a gifted 23-year-old Tyson Chokwe from the county of Kilifi, who built an automobile from scratch. The young innovator is now calling on well-wishers to support him to further his dream of becoming an engineer.
It's a beautiful sunny day in Kwachokwe village in Tezo ward in Kilifi County. Tyson Chokwe is getting ready for a ride. It's a unique automobile that looks nothing close to the ordinary vehicles plying our roads. It's a masterpiece that has been single-handedly created by Tyson, who named it Universal Version 4. It all started from recycling the engine of an old motorbike and metals, which Tyson skillfully put together to come up with this four-wheel automobile, which carries a maximum of 4 people and can move at a speed of up to 40 kilometers per hour.
Gari hili limetengenezwa kwa vifaa vya pikipiki mchanganyiko wa beskeli, mashini za hata ukata mawe. Kwa ufupi, yani chochote kile ambacho ningeliweza kupata kwa mikono yangu, nitumie ubunifu wangu na nikitumie jinsi ninavyotaka mimi mwenyewe.
What amazes many, however, is the fact that Tyson has not acquired any professional training in the field he is venturing in.
Wengi sana wanamshangaa na hajaenda chuo chochote cha kujifundisha kazi kama ile ya mashini kuchomelea na nini. Sasa ni akili yake kwa ufupi.
According to his father, Joseph Thomas Chokwe, Tyson began showing interest in automobiles and electronics at an early age. He made his first bicycle when he was only 18 years old and a Form 2 student at Mashariki Secondary School.
Kwa hivyo nilimnotice kuwa atakuja kuwa fundi. Nilimwelewa hivyo, atakuja kuwa fundi. Hakweli ametoka hata na pikipiki nyingine kwa hapo ndani. Ukiona na pesa ya kawaida. Flyboy kwa hapo ndani hapo. Hata ukiona utaona si ya kawaida. Kama ambavyo amemodify, kama amejitengenezea. Na hata kazi ya stima anafanya. Wiring. Yaani nyumba mzima kama yeye anafanya na malipo. Kwa hivyo pia huko anajisaidia kupata mapato yake kidogo kujimudu.
His is a natural gift, but he wants to pursue it further by joining a technical tertiary institution in a bid to polish his craft, and is calling on well-wishers to support his ambition.
Aliomba wapate kumsaidia hata kama chuo cha ufundi, akienda apate chuo cha ufundi technical school, aweza kuongeza ujuzi zaidi, ama ataka ajiriwa kazi mahali ya ufundi kwa kampuni ya kuchomelea ama kampuni ya uhandisi na fulani, anafanya kazi. Wake vibarua sahi hakuna. Na yeye amejitolea kufanya ile kazi. Wengine mtu mwingine kuja akasema nataka kama ile. Sitapata soko.
Na endapo tutapata usaidizi zaidi, naweza tengeneza magari ambayo itakuwa yanauzwa hapa Kenya, ila yatakuwa hata kwa bei nafuu zaidi yale yanayotoka nje. Na hapa naona kuna rasilimali nyingi au kuna vitu tukivitumia hata kwa mara ya pili naleta maana nyingine zaidi.
Tyson is a representation of thousands of young people in the country whose potential remain untapped due to lack of opportunities, a challenge to the government to urgently come up with policies and strategies to support the youth in maximizing their potential.
Tupo wengi wenye vipawa kama hivi ambao tunaweza kufanya mambo makubwa, hata kuacha ile gari. Wako wenzangu ambao wanaweza kutengeneza tasnia, lakini ufadhili ama mandhari yale yanaweza kuwasaidia kutengeneza jambo kama hili ndio hawana. Hasa sana upande wa vifaa huwa ni changamoto kubwa sana. Kama ukiangalia kuna vitu zingine hapa nimeweka hazifai kuwa, lakini sababu ya ubunifu inabidi ukubali sababu vimetumika kwa njia inayofaa na kufanya kazi.
For Lunchtime News, I'm Safin Aching Oma.
Time for Channel 1 Business News. Travelers from the United Arab Emirates will not be able to come into Kenya from midnight tonight after a suspension of all inbound and transit flights by the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. The authority says the move, which is in response to a ban implemented on Kenya by the country on December 20th, will not affect cargo flights carriers.
The Middle Eastern country had initially banned Kenyan passenger flights following concerns over fake COVID-19 PCR results, costing Kenya millions of shillings in lost passenger revenues. The ban comes barely a few days after UAE extended the Kenya flight ban after it established that travelers from Nairobi were testing positive for COVID-19 after arrival in the UAE, despite carrying negative test results. Kenya Airways had banned flights from Dubai following a surge of Omicron cases before the announcement by KCAA. Airlines from both countries have announced their compliance with the directive from their respective authorities, with Kenya Airways promising to refund all booked Kenya-bound flights. In a move seen to protect the national carrier, the Ministry of Transport said the government had resolved to deny Emirates unrestricted flights from the two cities. KCAA says the suspension will last an initial 7 days, with reconsideration thereafter. The announcement made is bound to affect airlines hailing from the UAE, which make at least 28 inbound and outbound flights between the two countries. Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Ibak Said.
The pileup of trucks at the Malaba-Busia border is set to ease following a decision by Uganda to recognize Kenya's COVID-19 test results uploaded in the regional electronic cargo and drivers tracking system. The agreement was made after EAC ministers of health and transport met to resolve the stalemate following Uganda's requirement for travelers to undergo mandatory testing at the border, causing a snarl-up stretching over 50 kilometers.
The Republic of Uganda had introduced mandatory new COVID-19 protocol at a fee with validity of 7 days as opposed to 14 days, which was not taken kindly by the Kenya Drivers Association. This had led to a massive congestion at the Malaba and Busia land borders. The stalemate at Malaba border has affected regional trade and movement of persons. The meeting was chaired by Kenya's EAC CS Adan Mohammed, resolved that Ministry of Health in Uganda will recognize Kenya COVID-19 test results uploaded in the regional electronic cargo and drivers tracking system. The current EAC protocols will be adhered to by partner states. The meeting also decided that EAC health ministers will review and guide on 72 hours validity for test, and no country will unilaterally adjust the validity period. All countries reaffirmed that fully vaccinated drivers will have their negative results valid for 14 days. Partner states agreed to have a follow-up meeting on Friday, 14th January 2022 to assess the progress made to resolve the border congestion. Part of the resolutions include Uganda conducting rapid tests free of charge with the aim of clearing the border backlog. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers has called on the government to work with speed in its implementation of the second phase of the 15% reduction in power tariffs if the manufacturing industry is to fully gain from it. The association's chairman, Mukai Kunyiha, in a statement said that the move is urgently, especially as the economy continues to experience the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, including rising costs, supply challenges, and lower purchasing power.
The Kenya Association of Manufacturers 2018 sector report, electricity averages between 40 to 50% of total conversion costs, indicating that manufacturers in Kenya suffer frequent blackouts and low voltage, which translates to an impact on the competitiveness of sector products in the market. KAM emphasized that the high cost of electricity has been attributed to the various factors, including expensive purchase power agreements, high cost of fuel, multiple taxes and levies imposed on electricity bills, VAT and fuel cost adjustment, as well as a depressed demand growth and inefficiency in the system, despite the increased power generation capacity, among others. The body, however, welcomed the 15% reduction in power tariffs in the country, adding that manufacturers shall enjoy a cost reduction of between 2 shillings and 67 cents to 3 shillings and 64 cents per unit of electricity, depending on their respective tariff and consumption levels. The government hopes to see a reduction in the cost of production that will attract sectors that are high consumers of electricity, such as steel. Going forward, the manufacturers say they want to support the government's efforts in addressing the fuel cost component, which is seen as one of the key factors in energy costs, including the expensive petrothermal generation, whose cost is greatly affected by fluctuating global prices and exchange rates. Currently, the manufacturing sector's contribution to the economy in Kenya has stagnated at around 10% of the gross domestic product. Alanako, Lunchtime News.
South Africa is looking to reposition the country's mining industry as its chief industrial sector. The country's Mineral Council is banking on partnerships to achieve a twofold increase in real investment in the mining sector by 2030. Here now are the details of this and other stories from across the continent.
The mining and quarrying sector's contribution to the South Africa's gross domestic product reached 4.6% in 2020, down from 10% in 1993, according to data from statistics in South Africa. In line with country's national development plan, this target aims at enhancing South Africa's economic growth and its development and transformational vision. Despite the fall over the years, South Africa is still among top mining destinations in the world. In addition, its mining sector has a significant positive impact on economic activity, job creation, and foreign exchange earnings. By the end of 2018, the mining sector had accounted for $22.5 billion of South African gross domestic product and the employment of an estimated 456,000 workers. Meanwhile, mobile wallet use in Egypt climbed 160% in 2021 with a total of 227 million completed transactions. The total value of such purchases stood at $14.8 million. The North African country's administration is implementing measures to encourage the gradual phase out of cash and adopt a digital society. The Central Bank of Egypt launched a platform that tackles everything related to mobile wallets, from general inquiries to subscription-specific questions and others. In addition, a government-run electronic invoice system is to keep record of sales and purchases by corporations and legal entities. Finally, Tanzania's best agribusiness company, Grosso Africa, has vowed to contribute to country's efforts to transform agriculture by empowering farmers to increase yields and be assured of market for their farm produce. The company's commitment was part of its new strategies that were in line with changing of its name from Grosso Foods BV to Grosso Africa, which meant to supply farmers with a carefully selected offering of agriculture equipment and skilled personnel. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
And on that business note, let's now get back to the local news scene. And former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is currently meeting a section of youth from Mount Kenya at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Foundation here in the county of Nairobi in Upper Hill area. Let's cross over and listen in.
But every year we push into the labor market nearly 1 million people. The youth who are in schools at the level of primary, secondary, tertiary, and university. 1 million. This 1 million cannot be employed by 70,000 vacancies available in the public sector. Therefore, the answer is what? Private sector. Private sector must be the major employer in our country. And that private sector must be created. So the only area you can blame the government is by actually stifling the development and growth of the private sector. Like somebody gave you an example here, that somebody comes here with money to want to invest here in this country, but the frustrations that those potential investors undergo, right from the immigration, through the hotels, through the government bureaucracy, and the corruption in the system, frustrate them so that they actually leave this country and go and invest elsewhere. I met an American frustrated. He was telling me that I've been asked to come back in 3 months' time. This is the third time I'm coming here. And I'm coming all the way from LA in the United States. Do these people know where LA is? It's so far. I'm not going to come again. You see? So this is what's happening. The big problem is bureaucracy, infrastructure, the cost of infrastructure, particularly energy, and then the corruption in our country is the biggest impediment to private sector investment in our country. And that does not only refer to foreign investors. Even local investors are frustrated the same way. And that's why we're saying we must change this. I know the kind of frustration that your Kali sector undergoes to be able to make the thing like this. Wanakuwa frustrated kabisa. Ngine wanakuja kutafuta ati ushuru. Ngine wanapigwa kila mara kwa mara na wale maaskari inaitwa kanjo, kutolewa hapa na pale. We can actually formalize the private sector, I mean the Juakali sector, put up proper shades for them to start where they want to start, and also give them access to capital so that they can be able to stage their businesses. And that's why we talked of creating a fund for the youth, where they can be able to borrow money and they don't have to repay until after 7 years. When those businesses have taken off, that is when they will be required to begin to repay. This will help them. Instead of running around the town, tamacking, looking for jobs, you become an employer. So being an employee, you become an employer. And there are very many potential employers among you here. You know, if you look at big companies, they are started in very small ways. I'll give you an example of Mr. Toyota. He was a shoe shine boy. Sorry, that's not Toyota, that is Mr. Hilton. Mr. Toyota was a repairer of motorcycles. Then became a repairer of scooters. They started making motorcycles. Then went to a 4-stroke engine. Slowly developed and became the Toyota empire. It can be done. I've given an example of Mr. Benz, who again did that experiment with his daughter, then took his daughter to experiment riding. Eventually he named that model after his daughter, who was called Mercedes. And that is Mercedes-Benz. So we can actually help our people to come up. You know, in the United States, it's more prestigious to be working for a General Motors than be working for a Ministry of Home Affairs.
Prime Minister Raila Odinga currently addressing a section of the youth from the Mount Kenya University. The Mount Kenya region, the meeting is currently taking place here in the county of Nairobi in Upper Hill area. My colleague Timothy Kipnuso is on that bit, and he will be bringing us up to speed with the latest development later on in the day. Time for sports news, and Gabon secured a 1-0 win over Comoros in their Group C match opening of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations at the Stade Hamadou Ahidjo last night. Gabon now sits joint top of Group C after Sofiane Boufal's 83rd minute strike had earlier handed Morocco a narrow win over Ghana. Meanwhile, the event continues this evening with 3 matches on card. Defending champions Algeria will face Sierra Leone, while Nigeria will take on Egypt. Sudan will square it out with Guinea-Bissau. National men's volleyball team Wafalme has risen 8 positions in the latest